On this week's episode of Kickin It Wit Killa, I talk about my trip to the legendary 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. So pull up your seat, spark that brain, and let's kick it.
We kicking it, kicking it, kicking it. We ain't taking no L's. I don't care how they feel. We kicking it.
What's going on, family? Of course, we're back to Kickin It Wit Killa, and this week I want to talk about my trip to the legendary 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. See, I was invited to the arena for an AEW event, and it was definitely what I would call a banger. So of course, Donna and I, we jumped up in the car and we took the ride to Philadelphia. The thing that was different about this ride here is I actually decided to take the time and kind of look at the skyline and just enjoy the ride itself. Of course, I had my music blinging, you know what I'm saying? I had some hip hop, had something getting me hyped up for this event, of course, right? But I just actually want just to kind of take the time and just look around and see everything and just to see the skyline, right? As you pass by of the Wachovia Center or Wells Fargo Center as it's named now, or the Link, our city filled, and just kind of take a look over that was an amazing. Just riding down 95. Next time you do that, if you get the chance to ride through Philadelphia, just take that ride and just look to your left or your right and pay attention to that skyline of all those stadiums in that same place. So of course we did that, and then we finally arrived at 2300 Arena. Now let me tell you, before even stepping inside this arena, as I'm just looking outside of this arena, it just made my mind go past all the legendary and historical things that happened in this arena. I mean, if you think about it, we had legends like CM Punk, Paul Heyman. We had Stone Cold Steve Austin come through this arena. I mean, let's just go look back in the time. All the big things that happened. Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer. Like there was so many different things that happened through this arena that started off as an idea for one person, and he just made it huge, right? Think about how much work he put into it, how many stars he was able to build, and even able to hang around to today. He was able to transition, and I'm talking about Paul Heyman. He was able to transition from where he was then, turn his vision into something huge, right? 2300 Arena is just a legendary place to be, just to step in that building. Before stepping in that building, I'm like, all right, I'm not sure where Will Call is at. I truly kind of didn't confirm to make sure I really had the tickets waiting for me, right? So I'm like crossing my fingers, and we're like, all right, well, let's see what happens. So we get in this building, and of course I walk there, and he's like, I let him give him my name. They give me the tickets, and he's like, just count it, make sure you have enough tickets. We count the tickets. Of course, we got 4 tickets, so it's an amazing thing, right? So now we're in this 2300 Arena building. Now this is, like I said, it's not like the Wachovia Center, right? It's not like a huge building. It's like a small, intimate building where you can feel the passion in there, right? You can feel all the wrestling fans in there, and they were just passionate and hyped up and ready for a good night. And it just kind of like was contagious. It was just going through the whole building. People in line, buying new shirts, buying whatever, wrestling belts. You had another line where everybody's in line getting the drinks, and that's where I went to. I beeline right to that drink line and got myself something to drink. But as I was walking around in the building, I did happen to bump into one of the referees there by the name of Aubrey Edwards. I looked at her at first and I was like, is that? And I was like, you know what? I saw one of the AEW security guys. I was like, is that Aubrey? And they're like, yeah, that's her. So of course I went and approached her and wanted to just kind of talk to her and see what's going on with her. So what happens to be going on with Aubrey is she happened to start something that's for female wrestling fans. It's called AEW Hills. Now, I always get teased on because I have a little bit of an accent, and when I say heels, I mean HEEL, right? Like high heels, right? So, so that's what I mean by that. So she has a little thing going on called AEW Hills for the female wrestling fan. I think that's pretty great because primarily when you think of wrestling, you probably think there's probably a bigger percentage of like probably a 70-30 percentage of males that are really into the wrestling, because I always considered it as like a male soap opera. It was kind of cool just kind of talk to her and hear what she has going on with AEW Hill. So hopefully somewhere down the line we'll be able to interview her and get her on the show, and we can get more in detail on her journey and what she has going on now. So big shouts out to the people of AEW. They gave me some really good seats. But let me let you know that the venue is such a good sized venue that almost no seat is a bad seat. It's such a nice, small, intimate venue that you like really there's no seat that's a bad seat. The show starts, right? So of course I got to see John Moxley, who's formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He came in there and put on an amazing performance. We had other artists such as Timeless Tony Storm. She has a great gimmick there. I love what she's doing. It's amazing, right? What she has going on. Harley Cameron was in the building. She has something. If you get a chance, Google her name on YouTube and see a couple of her skits that she has going on. Hilarious, hilarious. Let me tell you. So of course we had all these different people. There was one person that came there by the name of Don Callis, right? I pretty much could not hear anything this man was saying. The crowd was booing so loud that it was just mumbles that was happening. And anytime he would take a break, we'd probably take a break. And then he would open his mouth up to say something else, and then we just go right back at the brewing. Like it was just fun. I think probably by the end of the night, I damn near lost my voice, right? It was such a good time. As we're there, I would have to say that the highlight of the night was a match between Takesha and Delaware's own Mark Briscoe. Now let me take a side detour, right? Not too long ago, and for people that might know about Mark Briscoe, um, he had his brother Jay Briscoe that ended up passing away unfortunately in a car accident in Sussex County. I took the time to look at this documentary that they had, and it was just so touching. Just the energy that both of them bring. They said that they were damn near should have been twins. Like they're just like each other. They knew what each other was going to do. They both came into the wrestling business, trained each other, self-taught, built themselves a ring, self-taught, um, and just kind of and just made it, man. And they just made it all the way to the top to where they're at now, right? So if you get a chance, definitely check out this documentary that's on Mark Briscoe, Jay Briscoe, and their lifetime, and then just how the family was affected after the untimely passing of Jay Briscoe. So get a chance to check that out. The match happens. These two were doing so much amazing things in that ring. I mean, I was trying to sit down so the people behind me can see, but I couldn't help but to keep standing up, and it was just it was crazy. I mean, the spots that they were doing, the way they were hitting each other, man, I was like, yeah. Like there's one time that Mark Briscoe slapped the dude in his chest, and I felt it. I felt it. I think I dropped to the ground. Like it was it was crazy. So these guys and the thing about Mark Briscoe too, you see him hit somebody, and then he invites the wrestler to hit him back. Like yeah, I just slapped the crap out of you. Now hit me back. You know what I'm saying? And give me the same thing back. And it's just amazing, man. They just brawled it out the whole night. I would have to say that was probably the top match of the night. So of course the match is going on. Close falls. They kick it out of stuff that you're not expecting to. Just when you think that Mark Briscoe is about to win, then this person by the name of MJF comes and interferes in the match. They cause so much heat. Like people were just hating MJF after that. Like we were so going for this Delaware's own Mark Briscoe to win, and he went in there and just screwed it all up, right? All in all, great match. Definitely suggests that even if you're a casual wrestler fan, I suggest that you go to an event. So I've been to other wrestling organizations. AEW was different as in it felt raw, right? Felt raw, felt uncensored, right? And the crowd itself is just a different crowd there. You could tell that it was full of like true wrestling fans, right? The feeling and their hypeness was contagious. Like as they would start saying stuff, you're like, you know what, I'm going to jump in there and start saying something. Like there was no holding back. So even for the casual wrestling fan, I suggest that you go to an AEW event. You don't even really have to know everybody that's there. You'll learn as time goes, but the crowd itself is just going to put you in the moment. And I just want you to sit there and enjoy everything that's going on. Never mind the fact that this event was in 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. And for those who don't know, 2300 Arena is like is like the church of wrestling, right? And AEW came there and just brought this thing to life. They had a set that was amazing. Like I said, it's just nice, small, intimate a venue, and it was it was breathtaking the matches that were going on there. The thing that's pretty cool also is now this event was actually broadcast on TV. So the thing that's pretty cool about this is during the time when there was no match and they were in a commercial break, what would happen is this the one of the ring announcers would kind of walk around. She would get everybody hyped up, talk about other events that's going on, giving out gifts, giving out gifts. You don't see that often. Like asking, who's the number one, you know, AEW fan, and you just raise your hand and they give you a gift, or they ask you, okay, what was the score? Mind you, this is the Philly, right? So they're like, so what was the score of the Philly and Cowboys game at the end? And you answer that question correctly, you got a gift. So it was just felt good. Like it was definitely a good thing. The thing that's also amazing is at the end of the AEW shows, and it seems like he does this all the time. The owner of AEW, he comes out and he kind of talks to everybody. Tony Khan comes out and talks to everybody, thanks everybody for coming there. And when you think that the show's over, he says, "Guess what? Don't leave. We have more for you." Right? So now, so now you got more matches coming out. When you thought it was over, they're like, we're not done yet. We got some more for you." And you gotta give it out to him. AW feels like an organization for the wrestling fan created by the wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's not this big production. But if you like wrestling and you like saying ooh and just being wild about the different moves and things that's going on, AEW might be what's good for you, right? I mean, of course, other organizations they have the big production, which is great, right? They have great storytelling, but AEW just felt like I said raw, right? And sometimes that's a great feeling to be in. If you've never been to a wrestling show, I suggest going to an AEW event. If for only thing just to be around that crowd. Like I said, the crowd is contagious. Just to be around that crowd is like nothing that you've ever witnessed before. Take my word for that. And of course, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another Kicking It With Killa. I took you on a trip with me this week. AEW 2300 Arena. I appreciate it. And as always, doesn't matter what season you're in, whether it's the fallback, the get back, or the comeback. Remember, you are special. You have purpose. So get up out there and get it. Till next time. Peace.